Okay, so let's talk about the Iranian Hulk. So this video is dedicated to talking about how we all fell for it, how we were all duped, how gullible everyone was, and how toxic social media actually is. Because very few people actually questioned whether the photos of this guy were legit, whether they had not been doctored, edited, or changed. Everyone just went along with it. One news channel, one social media account posted it, another one posted it, another one, it spiraled, and then everyone just bought into it, with very few people actually questioning, is this guy legit? And how did he get away with it? Well, simple. Iran is a bit of an isolated state. It's a bit of a rogue nation. It's very isolated. Not many people from the West go in there, dare to go in there. Not many people leave Iran. There's been sanctions on them that would stop people from Iran leaving. So he was able to hide in Iran and basically dupe everyone into believing that everything that he posted online was true. And it's not like the guy was in New York and all you needed to do was take a flight from LA to New York and go see him in his gym and say, that's not the same guy. No, he was able to get away with it. Which is why we might even see next the North Korean Hulk. Because no one can really prove yes or no. Because the media, what goes in, what goes out of these countries like North Korea and Iran is controlled by the state. So there's no real no way to tell. So that's kind of how he was able to fool so many people. I mean, we see lots of phonies on Instagram posting edited Photoshop videos and photos of themselves that don't reflect their actual physique. We see that all the time. But most of those people are nobodies and no one really cares. But this guy, he made it all the way to the top. One of the most famous bodybuilders and fitness celebrities signed a contract to fight this guy. Promoters paid a lot of money. Companies sponsored this. I mean, money was spent on this. He managed to fool so many people at the top. Not just gullible social media people, but people right at the top. He got Martyn to put his name on a contract to fight him. That was all he needed, really. Because at that point, he had him locked in. It didn't matter what happened if the truth came out after that. Because Martyn legally would have to fight him. If he cancelled the fight, which he has gone and done, the Iranian Hulk and his team could potentially sue the promoters and Martyn for a breach of contract, and then he could get millions of dollars that way. So all he needed was this, and whether the fight goes ahead legally because Martyn has to, whether it is cancelled and he's financially reimbursed for that, he walks away a millionaire from this. Either way, it's a win-win for him, whether the fight happens or it doesn't happen. I think in the back of his mind, he always thought to himself, well, if Martyn cancels it, I still get my millions of dollars. All I need is him to put his name on the contract, and I'm good. I'm good to go. So this is why these celebrity boxing matches and these social media bullshit, why all of it must be called out. And I really don't like these celebrity boxing matches. I think they're stupid. I mean, if it's like people we all know, like Logan Paul, people like Thor, Beyonce, we've seen these guys, we know who they are, okay, but when you're just calling out random people you've never met who have a social media account, then that's when it starts going crazy, and we're all going crazy. So yeah, I mean, look at the photo on the left. Clearly it's been edited. The tapered waist, the guy on the right's chubby, he's got a big waist, he's trying to hide his gut by wearing a baggy hoodie. The guy on the left has humongous biceps, massive triceps, massive forearms. The guy on the right has short little stubby arms, barely with any muscle on it. The guy on the left has humongous legs. I mean, look at the size of those quads and the calf muscles. They're humongous. They're absolutely gigantic. The guy on the right, even though he's wearing trousers, we can see he has absolutely no muscle size in his leg or definition at all. He looks like the guy on the left on the right who has little chicken legs. His legs look roughly about the same size as the guy on the left who's meant to be the supposed Iranian Hulk, who has gigantic tree trunk legs. I mean, the guy on the far right in the photo looks more like the Iranian Hulk on the left than the actual Iranian Hulk does. So that's just how fake he is. That's funny, actually. Just looking at the three people in this photo, I would safely say the guy on the right, on the picture on the right, looks more like the Iranian Hulk on the left, the fake photo, than the actual guy who pretends to be this image on the left. That's how fake he is. And look at this. I mean, look at everything about this photo on the left, the one that's been staged, edited. Look at his shoes. He's deliberately wearing these clown-sized, humongous Shaq O'Neal shoes to make it look like he's humongous. When we look at his shoes on the right, these are just normal size shoes. These are US size 10, 11. Just nothing special. These aren't the big Shaquille O'Neal shoes. Look at his waist on the right. A nice tapered waist, small, slim waist, looking good. And look at the guy on the right. You can see some sort of belly poking out. He's deliberately wearing oversized t-shirts to hide the fact that he has no muscle. He has a fat gut, and he's deliberately buying oversized clothes to hide that. And all the photos we had seen of him before as the Iranian Hulk, he was always topless. He always had his shirt off. He always looked big. He had just had a pair of trousers on and a pair of boxing gloves. But then when we see him in real life, he's always got lots of layers on. He's got a jumper, a hoodie, a t-shirt. Always oversized. He's always got trousers on. So he's basically trying to cover, because he knows he's not that guy on the left. He knows it's a fake photo because he did it. So he's trying to deliberately make himself look bigger, and he always does this thing where he spreads his arms out, spreads his lats, and tries to make himself deliberately look bigger than he actually is. Tries to puff his chest up. Tries to actually wear big shoes with high heels on them to make himself look taller. I mean, on the picture on the right, he's wearing some sort of Doc Martens with high heels, big heels, and he's barely taller than these average-sized people to the left and right of him. In fact, they look bigger than him. So, you know what I mean? It's laughable. When we reflect on it, it's cringing, it's laughable, and it's actually sad as well at the same time. Because all of us were just fooled. And here's the showdown. This was funny because someone was live streaming this. There are lots of people with their cameras. Some were just videoing it. Some people were live streaming it. You can see on the left here, this guy's just videoing it. He's not live streaming it. Someone was live streaming this. And I was looking at a live stream from the people in the background there. Someone in the background, not from this angle. And I saw this guy come out in this sort of grey hoodie. And I thought, oh, that must be the Iranian Hulk's manager, his brother, cousin, friend, whatever. He's coming out to talk to the promoters, talk to Martyn Ford, say the guy's just coming now. These are the terms and conditions of his fight. That's what I thought he was. But then everyone was saying, no, that's the guy. That's the Iranian Hulk. And everyone was just like, what the fuck just happened? Were we all just duped? And clearly, Martyn Ford's trying to keep a straight face. He's trying not to look like an idiot. He's trying to just sort of play along with the narrative that this is a big guy, because he's just signed a contract on a piece of paper agreeing to fight this guy. And he can't fight a clown, can't fight a short little fat guy, because that's not impressive. That's going to ruin his career. So he's kind of playing along with it, giving this tough guy face. But clearly he's like, oh shit, what have I just done? What have I signed up to? Because this guy is just not the guy, the same guy that I signed a contract to fight. And then the Iranian Hulk, what looks like at this angle where I pause it looks like he's going to give him a massage or tickle him. And that's why I call him the tickle monster, because look at him. And he basically ricochets off Martyn Ford, which is hilarious, because Martyn Ford barely moved backwards. And this guy is putting all his body weight, all his muscle force, all his power into trying to push Martyn Ford over. And all that happens is he falls to the floor. That is embarrassing and hilarious. So then they do a face-off. And this is where clearly Martyn Ford has reached the conclusion where he feels like an idiot. He feels like he's been duped. This guy's smiling right in his face, clearly saying, you're the idiot that signed the contract to fight me, and now you got to fight me. And obviously he said something that rattled Martyn Ford, so Martyn Ford dealt with it the way that most people would. He pushed him, and barely pushed him, to be honest with you. I mean, that was probably only 40% of what he could actually do if he was legit. And this chubby little guy just went flying. He took off. It was hilarious to watch live. And yeah, that was it. And then he pulled himself off the floor, smiling, trying to shrug it off. But at this moment, the fight was a joke. So yeah, I mean, it really just sort of shows how far we've fallen as a society, that we all bought into this. And I do feel for Martyn, because, you know, it potentially is career ending. He signed a piece of paper, a contract to fight this guy, and he was duped into it, which is why he's cancelled the fight. There's no way he can go forward with this fight. It just cannot happen. It will just destroy his career. He'll be a laughing stock. So, Iranian Hulk has won. Either way, whether the fight's cancelled or whether it goes ahead, it's a win-win for him, because if it goes ahead, he gets media exposure in places that he never would have before. He might get some endorsements. He gets more followers on social media and YouTube, more money. If the fight's cancelled, Martyn Ford, the promoters, will have to pay. He can sue them for breach of contract, and he can claim millions in damages. So it's a win-win for him. And that's why this is really tragic, because he pulled off one of the greatest social media phony stunts I've ever seen in my life. He tricked the world into believing he was something that he wasn't, and he got Martyn Ford to sign up for it, which is hilarious. So, really glad to see the end of it. I hope that this never surfaces. I hope the fight doesn't go ahead and the relevant parties pay whatever they need to pay to get this fight done and dusted. I hope that Martyn Ford does fight someone again, because he's been training really hard, and I think someone like Hathor Bjornsson would be great. Both are about the same height, about the same body weight. They both have the same training system, philosophy, very cardiovascular endurance focused. They're both absolute monsters. It would be very entertaining to watch. The Iranian Hulk Martyn Ford fight, no one's going to pay to watch that. That would just be an empty O2 arena, just with the two of them and a handful of people. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Comment below on who you think Martyn Ford should fight next. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of my latest videos. Thanks for watching, guys.